So it's a lot. It's going to be jam-packed. This is going to be a long live stream. Buckle in, strap yourselves, get yourself some snacks, or make yourself mobile so you can snack and use the porcelain throne at the same time while listening to us, whatever works for you. And then we'll do a little live Q&A. Hey, don't tell me you have not listened to something while on the Yeah.
Yo, what is up? So we got to go ahead to record the PTR until the PTR ends tonight at 6 or 7 PST. So with this time, I wanted to get this video made and recorded. So I'm on the summoner right now. I know. I don't have any skill bars or anything. I literally just want to show you guys some of the changes and stat changes that I've been complaining about, because a lot of you have not even been on the PTR. You haven't seen the changes to stats and things like that. So currently I'm just wearing a just Stone Glen set, and I have 3-piece Reef Guard. So you can see I have Fortitude as well as the physical defense. So this is just a beefy tanky boy summoner setup. Okay, it's just a shield, axe, or bow. Anyways, so you can see here 68.5 physical mit. I am a summoner. And then down here, let's go to magical, 32.4, and 280, still 280 power with 16.9 HP. And that's unbuffed, no food, nothing. And that's not even an optimized set. I'm wearing some just random earrings. This is not what I would wear. I would wear these two items. So yeah, I'm losing a lot of HP here in these earrings. Anyways, I'm not liking the meta. I'm going to show you guys some clips. I'm going to show you some things that Steven and them talked about in the past. I'm going to show you some stuff about the sieges and what they had an idea for at siege, and what they wanted sieges to be about.
You know, we're giving you guys, yeah, there you go. Someone brought it over. Isn't it so cute? It's so cute.
It's my stress Dawnbreaker.
I love it. For Node Siege, we don't have a big video for you. It's a little chaotic if you've ever been in mass combat, lots going on, but I kind of wanted to walk you through how the Node Siege works. We have seen some people already engaging with the system. The next one will, I believe, be coming up 8 p.m. Realm time. So if you already, I saw that there have been some Node Sieges already started. They will take about 24 hours to get started. But I'm gonna walk you through that a lot of the questions that might be happening. So the first thing is obviously anyone who is level 15 plus can craft a Node Siege declaration banner. This costs about 1,000 gold and some significant resources as well. So it is quite a hefty thing to put in together. So it will take some time.
And it should be hefty, right? Because ultimately, even though we're not necessarily allowing for node destruction quite yet within the sieging system, eventually that will be a component of node sieges. And we want to make sure that the cost is representative of the efforts required to even build a node in the first place. So I saw there was a lot of commentary about that cost. That cost is going to be obviously iterated upon, but keeping in mind the objective for that cost is to be significant.
Yeah, I mean, you can ruin a node. It's pretty big thing.
Additional systems will come online to support this. For Siege, we're talking about the actual node destruction. We're talking about the ruin phase. We're talking about rewards and the accessibility of the material storage place. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's still on the roadmap for these large features.
And then I want to talk about dueling. Why, like, dueling, the only reason I can think of adding dueling is because the outcry, a lot of people wanted the dueling system. Okay, the only reason I would want dueling in the game is for determining mayor. They're later on down the road they want to add a feature where to determine a mayor of combat node, it will be a duel. So you fight, and whoever the victor is becomes the mayor of that node. That is a later date system. So I mean, if that's why they are implementing dueling now, to get that system up and running, okay, cool. But they should not be balancing the game around 1v1. They've already said, sieges are going to have a great impact in the game. They're going to have total node destruction. You're going to lose all stored materials. You're going to lose a bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
Wants to know, Steven, do you still plan for node wars to significantly impact players' banks? If so, are you considering reducing banks? That's what they're saying. They might have a misunderstanding. If so, are you considering reducing the material losses, or is this decision final?
Well, I think that we had a good amount of discussion actually about this on the design side. We were previously not applying any penalties when dying in a sanctioned PvP event. And from my perspective, I feel that death should have some amount of sting, albeit less during sanctioned PvP events. But there should be something that you're afraid of dying over. And so those penalties are lessened during sanctioned PvP events, but they still apply. And that is what keeps you from wanting. That is what motivates you to perform, because you don't want to suffer those penalties. You want to have bragging rights over your enemy. It is important, I think, when we're talking about wars, that these wars do have penalties applied to you on death. So yes, I don't expect that to change. I do think that we again provide lesser penalties for these sanctioned PvP events, but we do want you to suffer if you lose.
Would you want to say?
It's true.
The risk
Otherwise,
versus
how
reward.
how
Yeah.
can you value the moments you win if the moments you lose don't feel a bit bad? I
Yeah,
mean,
and I think that our goal, obviously, in this alpha testing phase is to like make adjustments to make that stuff feel good, right? It's never going to be feeling good to lose stuff, but at least you need to be able to know, like, hey, I had the opportunity to protect my node, to ensure that my stuff wasn't going to get lost. So I think like a big thing is node identity, feeling like you're part of your node.
Yeah, my bad. I had the camera off. I didn't even think about it. So yeah, the changes to time to kill, terrible. I don't want to be running from Jova, to Winstead or whatever, and I run into one person and I'm like, hey, Jova to Winstead, 20-minute run on foot. So I tell the guy I'm meeting there, I'll be there in 20 minutes, and then I get in combat around Halls of Adjudication, and I'm like, oh hey guys, it's gonna take me like an extra hour to reach you because I need to kill this one person that's PvPing me. That's the current TTK right now. The tournament that they just held tonight was determined by death rolls. I actually made a video about that before the tournament even had occurred, and I was absolutely 100% correct because I actually play the game and I know how things function. I know how stats work. I know math, just simple fucking math. TTK right now is a really bad spot. And here's my wholehearted opinion. This is my feedback to the dev team right here, right here. Revert all changes to stats, turn it all back to last phase where we were on live just now. The last siege we did was almost really good. Now, there are a few slight changes I would make to individual classes. Let me give you a change to an individual class. Mage. When Mage uses Barrier, it should break CC and silence. Our CC and silence break should not be tied to our movement ability Blink. Dumb. Remove that, fix that. I don't know. I will literally give you feedback for every single class, except Cleric. I don't play Cleric. I could play it and then give you feedback for it, though, but small tweaks within the classes themselves, mana cost for certain abilities, defensive things here like tank with passive block and shield, that needs to be adjusted a lot. Passive block on shield right now is really broken. But what I'm saying is we had a really good system in place, and then you changed it to this inflated, like, ginormous numbers for no reason. Steven, can we get back on track? We were at such good pace. We were making such good headway towards sieging and 100v100 and, way down the road, 250 versus 250. And my biggest opinion towards that wasn't even the combat system. It was actually the performance system. We were lacking in performance. Sieges were bad because of performance. And then once you flush out performance and we can actually play without FPS loss, frame drops, etc., then we can tell you, okay, this adjustment needs to be made on mages, this adjustment needs to be made on bards, this adjustment should be made on tanks. Warriors need a lot of love. Rangers are, they need some more mobility maybe. Things like that, but not just completely revamp the entire game, change the entire TTK system to a literal, like, skilled players, like cleric, tanks, rogue, like these skilled players, some of these fights can go over 30 minutes. Summoner, like an actual 30 real life minutes to kill the other opponent with the new changes. And that's to me is absurd. That's insane. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm a hardcore min-max player and I don't want that. That is way too hardcore. Like, you might as well add permadeath at the end of that too, because a 30-minute fight, I'm gonna have arthritis. My hands are gonna fucking fall off from just clicking all the keys in the proper orders. Dude, I play Guitar Hero on the hardest setting, and a 30-minute fight in this game right now is harder than that. I'm just saying, it's very skill cap intensive.
Yeah.
What did Steven say? I can't find the clip, but he said 60 to 90-second fights, like 1v1, right? And that's what he wants time to kill. In my opinion, the most important PvP in the game is siege, node siege. The fact that they want full destruction of the node to de-level, be destroyed, no banks remaining, etc. You lose your stuff. That to me is like in game. That's the in game of this game, is conquering and controlling nodes and building the city up and holding the city and defending it. To me, that's the end game, not harassing random caravan runners and crate runners and people sport fishing and, you know, 1 hour node wars, or not node wars, war decks that really don't do anything. Oh, maybe you can like kick them out of a POI for an hour, but they just log back in. What I'm trying to get to, the bottom line is, the game is essentially, the end game needs to be balanced around what the end game activity is, and that is siege and node destruction. And we're expanding that later, you know, in the vision. Steven's talking about castles, 250 versus 250. So if we're balancing the game around 1v1, 8v8, even 16 versus 16, I don't see that being a good translation to large scale, Zerg versus Zerg, and when it matters. Like, I don't see that being a one-to-one good translation. And if they want dueling, if they want some type of system where it's, you know, inflated numbers or whatever, and that's how they want to integrate how you earn mayor for the combat node, okay, we'll have an instance or something and scale the numbers there, but don't do it to the overall game. We were at a very, very good stage on live. When you had gear and you were built, even without gear, it was still pretty balanced. Now here's the other thing. Let's say you run into me, right, in the world right now, and you have all just like green gear on, right? You just have a bunch of dropped green gear. You won't even tickle me. You won't. I'll look at you and I can go grill some meat or something and come back and you'll still be tickling me. That's how much the gear rarity matters now as well. And go, please, can we go back to the other system like this? Dude, please. Also, I'm getting my new computer soon, so dude, I cannot wait. Like, look how good this looks on my dog shit computer. Like, this computer is probably, I want to say this computer is probably like 4 or 5 years old. And I mean, it runs Ashes, right? It doesn't look the best, but I mean, it runs, you know what I mean? And for how bad my setup is right now, it actually looks really good. And that's another thing. The PTR has actually been performing really well. So if you have not gotten on the PTR, guys, please hop on the PTR, check out the changes. Please, at least if anything, tell them to revert the stat changes to all the gear. Tell them to go back to where we just were. If you don't agree with me, please tell me why. Why do you think this is good? Why do you think this is better than where we just were in the last siege? Look at my last siege video, okay? Look at time to kill in that. My other PvP videos, look at time to kill in those. And then look at the tournament from tonight, right? The tournament was literally decided by death rolls, because anybody worth a salt, anybody good at the game, half decent at the game, can survive 3 to 5 minutes without dying, and then it just goes to death roll. That's the tournament rules. So literally the tournament was decided by death rolls. So, I mean, do you want the death roll meta, or do you want to go back to the meta where we can actually kill people 1v1 and also be able to siege and have really good synergy and gameplay together as a large scale 100v100? Like, dude, we were at a really good point. Like, what is going on, guys? Like, am I wrong? Am I just complaining to complain? Like, let me know. Like, I will change my tone immediately if majority of the comments on this video say that I'm wrong and I'm delusional and everybody agrees with the changes, these changes are great. I will shut up about it. I will not speak about it. I will just adapt and learn the change. You know what I mean? But I don't agree with this change. I don't think this change should stay. So, do you guys think this change should stay in the game? Do you think this should make it to the live release? Do you think any type of iteration of this should make it to the live release? I don't. I think we should immediately revert back to where we were stat-wise and just make micro tweaks and adjustments to mana cost and certain skills and what they do, yada, 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 right? Not just completely revamp and rework the entire stat system and bloat it out to nothing. And, you know, it's too much. Please let me know in the comments, guys. Let me know. All right, and I will be, you know, I'm going to send this video to Steven, you know, 100%. I'm sending it to you, Steven. I'm looking right at you, baby girl, okay? I love you. Keep up the great work.